Então, a Beck tá aqui, de novo, e ela vai continuar respondendo todas as perguntas de vocês. Se vocês tiverem alguma dúvida, deixem nos comentários. E aí eu respondo tudo no final, em um outro vídeo talvez, ou eu só respondo nos comentários mesmo. Então, vamos lá! Little question about opportunities in smaller locations or small towns.
Yeah.
How is this?
I mean, there are companies in smaller towns and all over Sweden and the rest of Europe, I would have thought as well. People build companies in lots of different places, so you can absolutely find opportunities in smaller towns. I mean, obviously then you've got to think about the future and whether or not there'll be other opportunities in the future if you want to change jobs and stuff like that over there. But smaller towns are nice. There's some lovely places in Sweden to live. But Stockholm's not that big either, and neither is Gothenburg or Malmö, which are the big cities, as it were. Big. Stockholm's not that big, and so you get that kind of town feeling anyway when you move here. So it's really easy to get from one side to the other, and it doesn't take that long. So even if you want to live in the suburbs with your family and be a little bit outside the city, it's still only going to take you 30 minutes to get into work in the morning on the trains. So
should I have reserve, a financial reserve or something? So
yeah,
it is mandatory, or it's like it's good to have, a must-have.
I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't have it, but you are going to probably struggle. I mean, you've got to think that, I mean, a lot of companies will offer things like flights and things like that to kind of come, but some won't. So you've got to think about that, and then you've got to think about the first month or two here. So you're going to get here, and you're going to have your visa and everything, but then you have to apply for your question number. So, which is your kind of social security number. And that can take a little bit of time. It can take up to a month to get. So you can't tell how long it's going to be. And you can't open a bank account until you have that number. So that you can't get paid. So you have to think about that first month or so where you might have to rely on savings. You'll then get your back pay. So all the months you have worked, you will get the money. So yeah, having a little bit of money in reserve is good. I have known people that have come here and not. And a lot of companies will help people out as well, you know. Yeah. So if you ask, they'll kind of give you a loan in that sort of sense. But again, that's not guaranteed. You have to kind of ask and see if they'll be able to do that. I mean, some places have got around this by paying it to another employee, for instance, and that employee takes that money out and gives it to you, for instance, and things like that. I mean, there are ways around it. I think it's difficult to pay it straight into your foreign account. I think there's some legal barriers to that and some issues they have to get around. So they're less likely to want to do that. But there are other ways of doing it. Like I say, I have a friend who, she didn't have a bank account initially, and they paid it to her boss, and then the boss took the money out and just gave it to her. Or they could just transfer it, I guess, at the same time. So there are ways around it, but yeah, it's something to think about when you first get it.
Okay, average value for that?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to factor in. It depends on what your circumstances are, how you like to live, and whether or not you've got family. So you just got to think about. I would say think about how much it costs for you to live for a month. And factor that in. But yeah, I couldn't put an average cost on that.
Okay, I would say this: how much you need to know how much we spend per month, and you should consider that you also need to find a place to stay in case the company is not finding a place for you. And then, like in Brazil, usually when you rent a place, you need to pay few months in advance. So you need to consider like paying those months in advance, plus the months that will come, and you don't know when your personal number is gonna come or whatever. So roughly have at least 3 months there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
planned kind of if you can. If you can't, live. I don't know. I'm a control freak. I need to know that I'm going to be fine.
Yeah. But again, it's like most companies, if you do start to struggle, are going to help you out in some way and try and find a way to do it. The good ones, and if you've been through the process and trying to get an idea if they feel like they want to help you and things like that. So
yeah, even though you can always be tricked, but in general, the company is not gonna.
Yeah, exactly. They want you to be a good employee. They want you to be productive, and if you're stressing about things, they're not going to get much out of you. So they want to help as much as possible. That is true.
The idea of a company gives you a test that is super long or build a whole system, and then you must like, okay, give me 3 weeks and I will prove to you that I'm capable of doing this. Like, does this happen in Sweden?
I haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen long tests of like 8 hours you have to do, but you can do that in a weekend, and that's not unnecessarily long. But I haven't seen it from companies that I've worked with, and I would have told them not to if they did. I think it's getting more prevalent. I think people are trying to get away with this a little bit more because it is cheap. Basically what it is cheap labour, and it's not right, and this is not how you test people about how they can do stuff. So in my opinion, you know, those sort of companies that do like insist you have a test where you've got to basically work for them for 3 weeks for no money is unacceptable, and it's probably best to kind of steer clear of them. But I haven't seen it in Stockholm. I haven't seen it in Sweden. So yeah, I don't think it's something we need to worry about. And if they are out there, they're probably so few and far between that there'll be plenty of other people that you can apply to.
Good. So it's usually just small assignments.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Small assignments. Oh, that's an interesting one. Question about if companies offer financial assistance for courses, college, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, some companies. I mean, lots of companies have added perks to coming to work with them. You know, technology, you know, the laptop, the phone, and things like that. But one of the things some companies offer is education budget. So that's a budget for you to go to conferences and things like that, and that can pay for not just the conference but the flights and things like that as well. So yeah, some companies offer an education bonus, which is kind of a yearly budget that you can kind of use. When it comes to like college and university, I mean, education in Sweden is free, so you can go to university and college free, just like any other citizen of Sweden. If you have permanent residence, if you have residence here, you and your family. So the other people that come with you, they can all have free access to college and education as well. So that's a bonus of coming to Sweden. That it's free to study here as well.
One thing is that here in Sweden you also learn the language for free. Government gives you the SFI course where you learn the language. So if you want to go to college, you learn SFI, you learn Swedish first, and then you can go to college, because not all courses are available in English. Maybe for at least one or other subject you have to learn the subject in Swedish. So maybe the only thing is like you have to learn Swedish first.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of university courses that are in English though, so it's
but it depends on areas.
It depends on where you are, what part of the country you're living in, and what you want to study. But there are a mixture of both, so you can study in Swedish or in English. But like you say, we have SFI, which is a government-run scheme, which means that anyone who comes here can learn Swedish for free. Don't have to, but it's always nice to learn a little bit of it, just to be able to say hi and goodbye. Thank you. And yes. And no, I wouldn't.
Yes or no.
Please. Yeah. So
exactly, that should be enough. So in Sweden, used to have like those recruitment agencies or companies with recruiters that get people to work here.
Yeah, I mean, it has. I mean, it's the same as most countries. I mean, we have a lot of recruitment agencies, and a lot of the big companies and other companies as well, even smaller companies, work with recruiters as well as doing process through themselves. So there's a lot of recruitment companies out there that will help people through the process. I think in some cases it can be a benefit to go through a recruitment company, just because you've got the extra support, you've got someone who's there kind of fighting your case for you and kind of pushing you forward, and also explaining to you what the company is looking for. So that's the bonus of working through a recruitment company. The other is that they don't have direct contact with the hiring managers. It tends to be that they're talking to somebody in the company, but they're not talking to the whole team and things like that. So there are pros and cons from doing it. But yeah, I think it's good to kind of talk to a recruiter, and if they like you, they're going to push you forward as much as possible. So
that's good.
They're going to fight your corner a lot more. So, you know, recruitment companies are good, but also the bigger companies have a lot of internal recruiters who will also help you. So the kind of bigger companies you'll find in Sweden will have their own recruiters that you can talk to, and will have a similar feeling in that sort of sense. So yeah, try both. Let's talk to both companies directly and also recruiters.
One thing about recruiters is sometimes you find those recruiters that they have several companies that they recruit for, so they can use you to apply to several companies at the same time. How does this work? Like, is this from the recruitment company itself, or is that normal? Or some companies they ask, like, if you get someone in my process, don't give it to anyone else. How is this?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where it is. From my perspective, I only ever kind of send someone to one at a time, just because I think it's, from my perspective, working with lots of different companies, you don't want to disappoint someone else. So, you know, if two people really liked the same person, you're going to have to let down one of your clients. So, but the good thing about being with a recruiter is that if you don't get one job, they can pass you on to another company to try and go through that process as well. So that's the kind of the benefit. There are some recruitment companies that will send you to multiple places at a time. Sometimes they tell the company, sometimes they don't. So it's a little bit dubious in that sense, but again, it's like recruitment companies, a business, and they want to get the highest possible kind of turnover that they can. So, you know, it might be better business sense for them to send it to more than one, just so that you can get kind of almost guaranteed that they'll get a job. So yeah, I mean, from your perspective, it's not a bad thing to be in more than one process at a time. So I don't think it matters whichever company that you. From your side, doesn't make any difference. So.
Bom, gente, por esse vídeo vão ser só essas perguntas respondidas. E aí vocês vão ter o resto muito provavelmente na próxima semana. Então, beijos. Tchau, tchau!